You're not stuck. You just don't like the truth of where you are. You keep telling yourself you need more discipline, more effort, more motivation. But what if the problem is not that you're not moving? What if it's that you're moving in a direction that was never yours to begin with? You wake up early. You do the work. You check the boxes. From the outside, it looks like progress. But at night, when everything gets quiet, you feel it. That subtle weight you can't explain. The feeling that nothing is actually changing. Not really. People call it laziness, a lack of discipline, a phase. But that's not what this is. You're not stuck because you're not trying hard enough. You're stuck because part of you is refusing to move forward. And it has a reason. Imagine a ship at full speed. The engine is loud. The effort is real. But the anchor is still buried. That's what this feels like. You're pushing forward while something is pulling you back at the same time, and no one sees it. The anchor is rarely obvious. It's not always fear in a clear form. Sometimes it's a version of you haven't let go of, the one who needed approval, the one who stayed quiet to be accepted, the one who built a life based on expectations that aren't even yours anymore. And now, you're trying to grow while still carrying that version of yourself. This is where it gets uncomfortable, because part of you wants to change, but another part of you is scared of what happens if you actually do. Who are you without the old identity? Without the roles you've been playing? Without the version of you that everyone else understands? So you stay in between, not fully moving forward, not fully staying where you are. That's what stuck feels like. You can stay busy and still go nowhere. In fact, being busy is one of the easiest ways to avoid the truth. Because if you're always moving, you don't have to stop and ask yourself why you feel this way. You don't have to sit with the discomfort. You don't have to face what needs to change. You can stay busy and still go nowhere. In fact, being busy is one of the easiest ways to avoid the truth. Because if you're always moving, you don't have to stop and ask yourself why you feel this way. You don't have to sit with the discomfort. You don't have to face what needs to change. So here's the question most people avoid, not because it's complicated, but because it's honest. What are you holding on to that no longer fits the person you're becoming? And more importantly, why are you still holding it? What if being stuck is not failure? What if it's resistance against a life that isn't aligned with you anymore? What if something inside you is saying, I won't let you go further in the wrong direction? That's not weakness. That's awareness. Here's the part no one likes to admit. Moving forward is not always about effort. Sometimes it's about loss, letting go of people, letting go of expectations, letting go of the version of you that made everything make sense to everyone else. And that is why most people stay stuck, because letting go feels like losing control. Not all progress looks like movement. Sometimes progress looks like stopping, stepping back, sitting in the silence you've been avoiding. Because clarity doesn't come from running. It comes from seeing. There are seasons where nothing seems to happen. No big change. No visible progress. Just stillness. And that's where most people panic. But what they don't see is that something deeper is shifting. Quietly. Without attention. Without validation. Maybe you're not stuck. Maybe you're just in a phase that doesn't look like progress from the outside, but is necessary for what comes next. Some thoughts don't show up until you sit with them long enough. And sometimes, writing is the only place they come out honestly. If something here felt familiar, there's a place for that in the description. You don't need to try harder. You need to see clearer. And once you do, you won't be able to keep living the same way again. Stay in the quiet.